Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on something nice and gross and disgusting. We're going to be playing with Nurgle's Rot, and we're going to do that to accentuate. We've got two demons here. We've got the very large Rotagus, which I just finished. He barely fits in the frame, and who seemed like a decent enough size model, this Plague Bearer here. We're going to make his guts all goopy and gross, and yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get the camera in a little bit tighter here, and then we can get a better look at what we're doing. So man, it is really tough to comprehend the scope of the new Great Unclean One models, and especially Rotagus here with his big gnarl staff that goes all the way up, or gnarl rod that goes all the way up to the way out of frame there. But I want to give us just a little bit of a close-up into how we kind of apply this. Now, it is very, very easy to play with, and when you use it in conjunction with something like maybe a Blood for the Blood God, it's pretty damn gross. So that's what we're in this for, right? That's why we're doing the Nurgle thing. So I'm going to take my Nurgle's Rot, and I've got two brushes that I'll be playing with today. I've got one that's just kind of like a ratty brush. I actually use this one for the Blood God as well. You can see that it's all splayed out and gross, but it'll soak up a bunch of paint. And this one here, which is just kind of another kind of old beat up brush, but again, I can get a decent amount blobbed onto there. So let's start off with our little guy first. And we'll get Mr. Rotagus out of the way here. And what we're going to do is, you'll see that the paint is super thick, kind of like a sickly green, which again is great. Make sure you give it a really good shake, and then we're going to apply it. But it is actually a fairly transparent paint as well, so you can see it's got this really cool kind of snotty kind of texture color to it, and it's quite thick. So I'm going to apply it, and I'm going to kind of apply it if it's dripping down. I think I'm just going to apply it kind of thickest at the bottom, and then just kind of draw it up, and just have it worked into, just kind of into the guts here. And I'm going to have it where it would basically pool, so on that flesh, just we get those little kind of lips of flesh there. We're going to put that in. If you want to kind of do a little bit of a teardrop, you can sneak it in at the bottom there as well. Now, what's interesting about this is it will actually stain the colors as well, very similar to a contrast paint. So if I want to load a bit more in there, and I can have it come down a little bit here, you can see that it actually stains with just a little hint of that green. It stains that. And if you want to just keep wiping, you can restore a bit of that kind of gory red underneath. All right, so I'm going to let that sit, but I'm really enjoying that kind of gooey, oozy, pussy kind of look to it. It looks very unhealthy, which is, again, kind of what we're in this for. All right, so now we're moving on to Mr. Rotagus here, and what my intention is to make this just a big, almost like a saliva kind of look and feel, where it's just coming, oozing right out. And I've got just a big pile of this stuff on my brush, and I'm going to start inside, because I want that looking pretty gross, you know, lap it around the tongue a little bit, right? And then I'm going to just kind of go in here and just kind of work it into those folds of the flesh there, just to make it look especially grotesque and gross. Now again, you can kind of keep working it to see more of that translucency kind of appear, having that background color just kind of working its way through. And just swapping brushes and loading it up a little bit more, I'm going to get right in up at the top here, just kind of work it in to that corner, and have it, you know, slime and ooze its way down. So you want gravity to play a bit of a role, like that visual gravity to kind of play a role in what's going on. But you can see that actual gravity is really determining that we've got this gross slop, this pus kind of oozing out. Now on his leg, we've got this big kind of gaping, pussing wound here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill that full of that pussy goop there, and then I'll just have it drizzling down his leg here. Gross. Love it. And then I'll just go in and fill up this little bit of space that's in here, It's a little bit of an ooze out. New technical term, I imagine. And again, you can see how it just stains the skin. I just give it an extra layer of kind of just, well, disgusting grossness. All right, I'm going to work my way around. I think it's very easy to kind of overdo this. So I'm just going to go in a couple spots and build it up. But I'm going to just fill in a couple of these little gaps in here. And again, I think less is more in this case here. We can blob it in one spot, but I think it would be beneficial just to kind of let it sit, see how it looks, and then we can revisit if we want a little bit more. All right, so we've let it all dry, and it is thoroughly disgusting. I love the final effect of this. It's, you know, just your mind just screams at you that something is wrong. And yeah, it's just such an impressive effect. I'd done my varnish before I went in here. It's the Munitorum varnish or your purity seal before. And, you know, so that kind of matted everything down. So to get that gloss and that sheen back really adds a lot to it. And what's nice is it scales up and down really well. And you can see here on the Plague Bearer that it's got definitely that same kind of, you know, that nice staining on the skin color, and you know, that kind of wetness that comes in there. I absolutely love it. I mean, it's just a really interesting way to sell that this guy is not healthy if the other clues weren't enough. So that's it for this one, guys. Really impressed with the product. I'm definitely going to kind of migrate through and use it on the rest of my models and all that. We can use it for venom. We can use it for like pus like this, or even like saliva of these big beasts. So really impressed with the final result. So like I said, that's it for this one. Hope you liked it. If you did like it, obviously leave a like on the video. It really helps get the channel out there and the video out there, which is great. If you're new here, and maybe you should consider subscribing. And if you do, hit that little bell notification on the right-hand side, and you get notifications of all our future videos. So that's it for this one, guys. Thanks a lot, and we'll catch you in the next video.